Good morning, everyone. How are we? Another Rubber Duck Thursdays. I'm back this week. I was out last week, so you had the pleasure of having Kevin. Wow, words. Having Kevin with you last week. So I did tune in for a little bit while I was out and kind of seeing what was going on. So I think bookstores and kind of not bookstores, but like a book library was made last week. So yeah, that was good. That was good. How are we all doing? Already seeing lots of familiar faces in the chat. So let me jump and see. So not hello, Mohammed. Great. Yeah, I think this stream is great too. I'd be biased, but yes, it is. Thank you for being here. Rubber ducks at the ready. Absolutely, Surly. Good to have you with us again today. Sam, hi there, and lots of quacks from Surly. Alina, hello. Ashka, hello. And yes, Surly, you have me back this week. I am the presenter today, so yeah, welcome back, I suppose. Nishant, hello. Divya, hey. Kura, good morning. Hill, hello. Ashin, Vanny, Alina, Egu, and Matrick. Great. We'll keep the good mornings and Mohammed. There we go. Keep that all going in the chat. Always like to see who's with us. And likewise, love to know where you're tuning in from. And more importantly, what you're working on. What project are you working on? Obviously, be mindful you're posting in public. So you're posting on, LinkedIn or YouTube or Twitter or what? Twitter? Twitch. Which, wow, I'm struggling this morning with my words. I apologize. So yeah, just be mindful of that, of course, what you share. But I do want to come back to what you're all working on in a little bit because we announced something cool last week for the love of code. And so there's a few different categories you can go and enter. It's a competition. So maybe you could go and enter something in that. So we'll have a little read through that, and we'll jump in there. And yes, Nishan, thank you for correcting me as well. It's afternoon though in India, so good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world, tuning in and listening to us, because we do have a global audience, and it amazes me sometimes that we have people tuning in from America, and it's like 4 or 5 a.m. there right now. So, yes, thank you for reminding me there. So yes, we'll do our normal thing. We'll do the change log update, see what has shipped since last week, and then we will take a look at that blog post that I mentioned, and we'll actually take a look at another blog post that I shipped as well. So let's jump in and take a look. So there we go. Gonna move everything around. And Samad, welcome. It's your first time here. Thank you for being with us. And in case there's anyone else who has never been with us, Rubber Duck Thursdays, really the idea of this is just a very kind of casual stream where we talk about some of the latest that has come up on GitHub in terms of announcements. And then we also go and build stuff live. So, what could possibly go wrong? So it's just a bit of fun where we go and get to make things. So you're very welcome here. If you want to have it on in the background while you're working on something else, if you want to join along and build something, again, you're very welcome as well. So welcome here, and thank you for being part of our wonderful community. So let me zoom in a little bit here. And there we go. Right. So the first one here, GitHub Actions now offers M2 Pro powered hosted runners in public preview. So if you are using Mac hosted runners there, Mac OS hosted runners, that is good news for you. So yeah, performance gains there, can reduce build times as a result. Yeah, and then the runner's equipped with a 5-core CPU, 8-core GPU, 14 gigs of RAM, 14 gigs of storage. So lots of different options there. There we go. And Nabia, your first time here too. So again, welcome to all of the folks who are tuning in for the first time. Thank you for spending your time with us, and please stick around because yeah, we do lots of fun things on the show. So you're very, very welcome here. Right, what else have we got here? Duplicate issues, create from anywhere, and more. So some updates to issues. There we go. So you can easily go and duplicate a GitHub issue now. That is a great quality of life update there. So great to go and see that one. Changes. Yeah, change the destination repo before you create it. Edit the details. Yeah. You can go now and create issues from anywhere in the GitHub UI. So in that top right-hand corner, and I'll just replay that video, you have this kind of modal here that you can go into or pop up and click on this new issue, get to it from there. You can go and easily create your new issues there. So wonderful, good to see that too. And then some API support updates there and some other additional improvements. So good to see that. Deprecation of Azure endpoint for GitHub models. So yeah, in essence, if you've been coding against the GitHub models endpoints, like for curl requests and things like that, well, now there's a different endpoint that will be from July the 17th, from that date, I guess. They'll temporarily continue it, but they'll remove support on October the 17th. So the recommendation is use that models.github.ai endpoint there. So there we go. Right, what else do we have? The pull request files changed public preview on July 17th updates. So commenting on files, you can now comment on individual files, including binary deleted and renamed files. That's cool. Just like you could in the classic page. So yeah, lots of big kind of UI changes on the pull request side there. Performance has been improved then as well. So reducing unnecessary re-renders, improve responsiveness, and all of those good things. And then lots of additional quality of life updates there. So good to see that. Upcoming deprecations and changes to Copilot code reviews. So let's see that. Okay, cool. So I think there was like a preview of something called coding guidelines, like a setting that you could go and configure. Whereas now the recommendation is to use Copilot instructions, like you probably have been with agent mode or coding agent. So that's becoming ever more consistent there. Automatic Copilot code review checkbox, easier to find, easier to use. Great. So rather than having it nested, I think, like it was under the require pull request before merging, it's now going to be at the top level of those repository rule sets, which is good to see that. Introducing a dedicated enterprise and organizational policy. There we go. So again, you can now soon, let's see, automatically match your existing settings. I assume that's to kind of turn it on and off, I guess, but not entirely sure on that one. Let's see, what else have we got? New GitHub Copilot activity report with enhanced authentication and user insights. Cool. So authentication tracking, last authenticated at field, enhanced surface details, so last surface used, so what IDE version, improved data freshness, the report refreshes every 30 minutes instead of daily. Wow, that was a big change. And comprehensive coverage across Copilot features, the IDE, GitHub.com, CLI, and mobile. Good. Okay, so if that reporting side is of interest to you for as an enterprise or like a business, excuse me, then that's going to be a useful one for you there as well. Including timeouts and primary rate limits. So I think this is for the main kind of GraphQL API. Yes, I did read this one the other day. There's been some changes. So normal usage, you're not going to notice much of a difference. But if you're using some kind of integration, then you might hit timeouts earlier because they're now going to be including those timeouts as part of that primary rate limit. So this is for the GraphQL queries there by the looks of it. So good. What else have we got? GitHub Copilot app modernization for .NET enters public preview. Cool. Modernize in days and weeks, not years. Use AI agents to remediate the code, stay in control, end-to-end visibility. Yeah, I think this was maybe in a private preview. Or maybe there was something for another language. I can't quite remember. But anyway, this has a number of kind of predefined tasks by the looks of it. So migrating between different pieces there, so different databases, storage options, identity providers there as well, and kind of that modernization piece there as well. So there's a how to get started section on that as well. So if you're using .NET, that might be of interest. All right, what else have we got? Code scanning will stop combining multiple Serif runs uploaded in the same Serif file. So when uploading a Serif file that contains multiple runs for the same tool and category, code scanning currently combines those runs into a single run. They're now introducing explicit concepts of category. Okay. So just some slight changes to be aware of there in how you kind of upload your Serif files. So if you're using GitHub Advanced Security's code scanning capabilities, this is one for you to be aware of. So enterprise server customers, this will come in 3.18, and then that will be taking place online on .com, and I guess the other environments from July the 22nd there then as well. So good to see that. What else have we got? Centralized private registry configuration for Dependabot is now generally available. Ooh, it's kind of cool. Previously, you had to configure private registry credentials in each repository's Dependabot YAML. So now, organization admins with Advanced Security Code Security can now centrally manage private registry access through the same interface. Organization level configuration serves as default while preserving flexibility for repo-specific needs. Repo has a private registry access configured in its Dependabot YAML file. Dependabot will attempt to use the repository level credentials first. If that fails, it will then fall up, I guess, to the repo level. To the organization level. Okay. Features available to all public repos. Private repo support is available to get Advanced Security customers as part of Code Security SKU. Cool. Okay. Good. And Divya says they can't hear me. Is anyone else having that problem? Let me know. In which case, I suspect, Divya, it might just be you. In which case, maybe just try and refresh the stream. But folks, if you could just confirm and let me know, that would be wonderful. Which sound is okay. Okay, in which case they should all be going through McNets. Yeah, nope, not having any problems. Okay, yeah, so apologies, Divya. I think you might need to refresh there. Good, let's continue on then. So adding a not set option for GitHub code security features. So in your organization security configs, previously you only had enabled or disabled, but now you can have a not set. So what that, I guess, means is letting repo admins decide whether they want that feature on or off. So you're kind of delegating down that responsibility or that decision there. So there we go. That's that one. GitHub Copilot in Eclipse, smarter, faster, and more integrated. Let's see. So series of updates, smarter commit message generation, enhanced context understanding, revamped getting started experience. That was support for Eclipse 2024-03 and 2024-06. One-click commit message generation like we've had in VS Code. Great to see that. I use that all the time. At workspace and context in chat. Cool. MCP logs in console view. Okay, so if you're an Eclipse user, make sure you're on the latest and greatest there, because that will bring some good quality of live updates. Right, secret scanning adds validity checks for over 40 secret detectors. Wow. So adding validity check support for 45 additional token types across over 30 providers. I'm not even going to try and read through all of these, but here we go. we can see there's quite a variety of different providers, different patterns where validity checks are now being supported. So again, if you are using secret scanning, this is a good update to be aware of. Go and take a look. And of course, no one has asked me yet, so I'm going to beat you to it. Use that link, gh.io/changelog. That's where you can find all of these updates, the latest and greatest of what has been shipped from GitHub there. I'll keep that out on screen. Right, what else have we got? GitHub apps can now review secret scanning, push protection bypasses, and alert dismissal requests. That's cool. So I guess if you're doing some kind of automation behind that, yeah, you can now go and set that up. Great, love to see it. Great, now we're on to the big one. GitHub Spark. Yes, the thing we announced back at GitHub Universe last year as the kind of experiment, or the kind of, what do we call it? Tech preview from GitHub Next. Well, it is now in public preview for Copilot Pro Plus subscribers. So if you are on the Copilot Pro Plus SKU, that tier, you'll now be able to go and use GitHub Spark. So GitHub Spark, really the idea that you can go and have this kind of AI native experience, being able to go and natural language to go and build your app in this kind of editor. So we'll go and take a look at that in a little bit as well. But good news there, good news. So let me know if any of you have already tried it yet, actually. Would love to know, but we will take a look in a moment. What else have we got? GitHub Copilot Coding Agent now supports .instructions.md custom instructions. I love this. I am such a big fan of this update. So many of you will know you have Copilot custom instructions, which kind of apply globally in that context. You know, when you have a Copilot chat session or Copilot agent mode, it's the .github/copilot-instructions file. We've looked at it many times on these streams and many, many more, I'm sure. But something that came recently in Visual Studio Code is this concept of the .instructions.md file. And what that allows you to do is kind of modularize or segment those different instructions files. And the beauty of that is you can also apply that to certain file paths as well. So like the kind of glob pattern. So what that means is you can now start kind of making the instructions pretty targeted based on like certain extensions, certain folders in your environment as well. So you can be really targeted in where and how you're bringing in those instructions. So you'll have one file for that kind of overall kind of global kind of guidance and instruction. And then there's more targeted instructions then with these instructions MD files. So very cool. Glad to see that they're supported by Copilot Coding Agent. And again, Copilot Coding Agent now available for like Copilot Pro, Pro Plus, Enterprise, Business. So if you haven't tried it yet, delegating that work and assigning Copilot in the background, give it a go. I'm a big fan. I assign a fair amount of work to Copilot in the background while I'm working on other stuff. It's really good for, depending on the task that you're doing. And I'm not sure, McNets, what file you're referring to, because it's kind of censored out the word before file. I'm not sure what you're saying, I'm afraid. So maybe, possibly, I don't know. Right, and the final update here is on the agent page, and I should say, I am so pleased about this update. I've been waiting for this one for a while. On the agents page, you can now go and select what base branch you want to go and target when you're specifying a request for the Copilot Coding Agent. So if you didn't spot it already, the Copilot agents page, it's just agents page, I suppose, that is a page where you can see all of the kind of sessions that you've ran recently with Copilot Coding Agent, and you can start a new task from there as well. But until now, you could only ever target the main branch. Now you can target another branch. I'm so pleased for that. Imagine the scenario where like you've been working on a PR and now you've got to the point where you want to delegate some tidying up or you want to go and get it to go and do some iteration. Maybe you've done the first part of the work and you want it to go and iterate. Now you can go and assign Copilot those kind of tasks on those other branches as well by setting that base branch. So very cool. I am very pleased to see that one. And yeah, I'm going to be using that one for sure. For sure. So that are the updates for the changelog this week. So again, page.io/changelog. Go and take a look at that one. And you'll be able to keep up to date with the latest and greatest. Yes, McNett. If you're using the .github/copilot-instructions file, that's like the global one, and you can use that in VS Code and many of the other IDEs editors as well. Whereas what came in VS Code recently are these separate instruction MD files, which you can then kind of bring in manually as kind of individual reference files almost, or you can have this glob, this kind of front matter, like in a Markdown file, specifying what files that should automatically be pulled in if you're reading like a docs folder, if you're editing a JS file or something like that. So now you can do both of those together. So I'm going to take a drink for a moment. Lots of talking. And I want to show you my latest blog post. Because you may have noticed the last few episodes that we've done, we've also published a blog post straight after it. I say straight after it, relatively quickly. We're trying to do it within like kind of a week or so generally, but that's the aspiration. And we're trying to do like almost like a tutorial recap of what we've covered in the episode. So in my last one, so that was a couple of weeks ago, that's where we used GitHub Copilot agent mode and where we used the Playwright MCP server to go and kind of see the UI issues that I was having in that Octo Arcade app that I mentioned, so those GitHub mini games. So we include the stream on there, and we include some useful links, and we just kind of walk through everything that we did with some useful references in there as well. Also, where we can, we won't always do this, but some kind of like smaller cuts of like the relevant bits for that section. And then we talk about like, how we configured Playwright, some of the prompts that I used in there, for example. And then those of you who were in that chat and were very much engaging on the requirements, I've got a great write-up on all the different prompts that I used, the result that we got, and a bit of a reflection on like why that didn't work in the first instance, the second instance, the third instance, and really just, let me go full screen here for this point, reiterating something I've said so many times. Prompting and how you form your prompt and what context you bring in and all of those things, so important. My failure in that example, I say failure, we're always learning, we're always continuing to iterate, is I was not clear in my requirements. It's something I always say, be clear in your requirements. So, we all learned together in that stream how important that is. And that just kind of reiterates that in that blog post then as well. So yeah, a lot of that in there, kind of a cut down version of going through those different stages, and then a few practical tips as well. So if you want to go and see that, what I would suggest, I'm just going to put it in the chat, is if you go to the github.blog, that's this link, just below, you will see it just on the right-hand side at the moment. So debugging in UI with AI. And you can go and click on that and take a read. Interested in as well. So let me know if you're actually reading those. If you are, if you're using those, if they're useful, because then that just helps us kind of know, right, you're actually using this. Um, Seems to be from, just some of the anecdotal things I'm hearing so far, but feedback always welcome. What would you like to see in those in particular? Because we are deliberately trying to make those like a companion to these streams that we're doing. So something we're experimenting with. Let us know what you think. And yes, Sanjay, uh, the things behind me are exactly that. Exactly that. They are from a certain sci-fi genre. Good. Right. Let's come on to the fun bit. Let's come on to the fun bit. Who's already started coding? Come on, let me know. ch.io/love-of-code. Go and take a look at that link. There's one thing you do today. Please take a look at this link. So we, or rather one of my colleagues, has launched this hackathon. On a long hackathon for developers to go and build something. So that goes until September the 22nd. I'm just going to zoom in to make sure it's super, super visible there. There we go. So goes from July 16th to September 22nd. You can win a few things, but what I want to really go down to, and obviously take a look at terms and conditions there at the bottom somewhere as well. Frequently asked questions, terms and conditions, etc. So go and take a look at that, because I'm not going to cover all of that here. It's all written down. But what I wanted to do was run through the different categories. Because over the next few weeks, I would love for us to go and build something on one of these categories. And Miguel, hi, welcome. This is Rubber Duck Thursdays, a regular live stream where we go and build stuff live. So feel free to hang out with us. You're very, very welcome to be here. So, yeah, we've got a few different categories. So the first one being buttons, beeps, and blinking lights. So, there's a few different ideas. Traffic light that displays your build status, soldered together sidekick that yells looks good to me every time your tests pass, an e-ink screen, hack to make your screen display actually work when the webcam detects your boss approaching, like funny things. And the thing you'll see in here is they are all fun, they are all whimsy, they are all like, intended to be fun. So you don't have to make one of these things. You don't have to make one of the things on this list. But what's something that's been an idea and you thought, maybe I could go and make that and build that. So the first section is about buttons, beeps, and blinking lights. The second is about agents of change. So AI-powered experiences, agents, bots, that kind of thing. If you wanted to go and build something around that, that might fit into this second category. I do enjoy this last one. A Shania Twain Slack or Discord bot to inspire. Editor's note, that don't impress me much. I love a good pun. I enjoyed that very much. Terminal talents. So we've done a lot of terminal work on Rubber Duck Thursdays in the past. We've done the GitHub kind of game where we've built a few different games there. We have done, I've talked about GitHub Skyline, the Skyline CLI extension that renders the 3D model view of your GitHub contribution history. We've got Game On. We've built a ton of games on Rubber Duck Thursdays. So build something playable or puzzling or just plain fun. So, you can go and prototype a game idea, remix mechanics, etc. So retro-style arcade game, adventure game with AI-generated plot twists, NPCs, and side quests. A vibe-coded vertical jumper built with and featuring your favorite co-pilot. This one is cool, I think. Oh, look how cool that is. There's some folks internally who built that. So anyway, you get the idea. Like, lots of different things that could go and be built. Worldwide wonders, it's like your kind of typical web app. HTML, first HTML experiment, a polished tool you've been meaning to ship, or a playful side project that does something surprisingly useful. I love this one. A web app that takes a GitHub username and roasts them based on their contributions, commit messages, and questionable emoji use. Nostalgic 90s site that loads like it's on dial-up, complete with pixel art. Everything but the kitchen sink, something super niche, something specific, hard to categorize. So you've got those 6 different categories. So my question to all of you, what are you going to build? What are you going to build? What is been that project? Oh, you've created the roast one, Nishan. Interesting. Love that. I think the project had to have started after July the 16th, by the way, so I don't think you could go and submit that one. But if you did want to go and take part, take a look at this blog post. So follow this URL just down below my camera feed here. All of the instructions on how to take part are in there. So please do go and take a look. I just realised there is one thing I forgot to go and update before we went live, so I'm just going to go and do that on my other screen. Just to make sure our friends on the Explore page get to see us. And right, there we go. Done what I needed to do. Good. Cool. So yeah, so that's this. So I was like, I want to go and build something. What do I go and build? I started thinking through some ideas. And then I was like, you know what? This is Rubber Duck Thursdays. We should go and bounce some ideas off our friend. I did that. I bounced some ideas off Copilot. So asked Copilot to go and fetch the page, review the list of categories available and the suggested ideas, and to come up with 3 fun ideas for each category of something that we could build in Rubber Duck Thursdays. And there's a couple of things that I wanted to add into that as well. So I'm kind of interested in trying to build an MCP server. And I'm kind of thinking that's what we'll maybe do today, or maybe next time. Then we've also got, if there's something duck themed, that could be fun to play into the whole idea of creating something duck themed. And we like to build games on Rubber Duck Thursdays. So that was my prompt. So it went ahead, it fetched the post, got all the information about For the Love of Code 2025 hackathon, and then you can see it's bringing in each of those different categories that we mentioned there. So I'm going to hold my hands up. I am not a hardware guy. Like, I would love to be. There are people on my team who are like incredible with hardware, so this will be right up their street. So, Martin, Ashley, I'm kind of looking at you both for this one. There's some fun ideas here, like a duck status duck. So green for passing builds, red for failures, a special yellow quacking LED pattern when tests are flaky. Could include a small speaker that plays different duck sounds for different events. Like, that could be kind of fun. Rubber Duck Debug-O-Matic, a hardware device with a big red button that, when pressed, generates increasingly ridiculous debugging suggestions on an LED matrix display. Like, that made me laugh. Have you tried turning your code off and on again? Let's see. Build celebration status. A mini arcade machine setup that plays victory fanfares, flashes disco lights, and maybe even launches confetti. Wow. Digital or physically. Every time someone on scene merges a PR or deploys to production. These are just to the Wimley. It's definitely taken the vibe from the blog post. A rubber duck MCP server, an MCP server that acts as the ultimate rubber duck debugging companion. It listens to your problems, asks probing questions like, but what if the bug is the friends we made along the way? And provides increasingly philosophical responses about code. Perfect for your MCP server interest. That feels a bit more like a troll than a rubber duck, personally, but hey, that could be fun. The code roast bot. So we talked about that one already, kind of the code roasting one. Duck Dynasty Code Manager, an AI system manages your development workflow, but talks exclusively in duck puns and waterfowl metaphors. Oh dear. Let me help you get your ducks in a row. Very good. Terminal talent, Duck CLI. A command line tool that replaces common Git commands with duck-themed alternatives. Duck swim, duck dive, duck quack, duck migrate. Oh dear. This is there. Oh, and including rubber duck ASCII art in all outputs. Very fun. Rubber Duck Thursday scheduler. We kind of do that already, so all good. This one was kind of fun. The Terminal Duck Race, a command line racing game where rubber ducks race across your terminal while you're waiting for long-running commands, builds, tests, and deployments. Other developers can join the race via network play. Like, that just sounds so fun. What else have we got? Duck Duck Debug, a twist on Duck Duck Goose. One player walks around tapping code. Tapping code? I'm not sure if that quite works. Then duck, duck, duck until they find a bug and shout to bug. Then everyone races to fix the bug first. That could be a new way to gamify stand-ups. So that could be kind of fun. Rubber Duck Dungeon, a roguelike dungeon crawler where you play as a rubber duck navigating through levels made of bathtub obstacles, soap bubble enemies, and drain bosses. Collect different rubber duck abilities and debug tools as weapons. Kind of like that. Kind of like that. Code Golf Duck Edition, competitive programming game where players try to solve coding challenges in the fewest characters possible, but all variable names must be duck related. And solutions must include at least one rubber duck emoji in the comments. Oh dear. Right, the Great Duck Debugging Simulator, a web app that simulates the rubber duck debugging exercise. Oh, this could be fun. Users paste their problematic code and the site walks them through the process with an animated rubber duck that asks increasingly helpful and silly questions until they solve their own problem. Rubber Duck Thursdays archive. Again, you can get that on YouTube, so maybe not so much. Duck Overflow, as if you were chatting with ducks. Rubber Duck Git hooks, a collection of Git hooks that inject rubber duck wisdom into your development workflow. VS Code Rubber Duck extension, and the Rubber Duck time machine. So, obviously, these have all been a little bit of fun, right? But what is something that you wanted to build? Like, I've seen a few interesting comments in the chat here already. So Nishant, you were talking about the roasting one. So that sounds good. Rahini, building auto thinker AI, no code tool that lets anyone generate and deploy AI agents and describe what they need. Cool. Rubber Duck should be more enhanced. Aditya. KJ, you're looking for jobs, so building a tool to look for jobs. That's pretty cool. Is that like an agent that goes and kind of researches and looks for jobs on like different job boards and things? That's kind of cool. I like that idea. Interesting. Let me know more of your ideas in the chat, folks. But there's kind of two ways that I was thinking of going today, actually. The first was I wanted to go and start with GitHub Spark because GitHub Spark just went into public preview yesterday. But I'm thinking we might be able to go and try one of those kind of web ideas. So let's go and try it. Which one do we think, folks? I'm thinking either the Rubber Duck Dungeon one or the Great Duck Debugging Simulator. I might even combine that one a little bit with like the roasting one, to be honest. So let me do something like that. A web app that actually I kind of like that. No idea how this will go. So let's try that. So there we go. You can see now it's going ahead, thinking and going and doing its stuff in the background. So a bit like Coding Agent. It's oh, and I've just realized I'm kind of hidden behind the banner, so I'm going to get rid of the banner there. There we go. It's kind of asynchronous almost, but there we go. I'll create a rubber duck debugging web app, guides users through solving their code problems with an animated rubber duck companion. Curious how this one will go. Now, in the meantime, while that is working in the background, I think we should also make something else. I think we should start off this whole let's try and build an MCP server thing. So I have this page up on screen. I'm just going to say my first MCP server, something like that. I'll make it public. We'll add a README. Probably going to go TypeScript, JavaScript code. And I'll choose the license. Let's go for MIT. Did I miss it? Oh, there it is. Oops. MIT. There we go. Okay. So, yeah, we'll go through this kind of repo creation experience. We'll create the repo as my first MCP server. We'll make that repo public. This is an example of trying to create an MCP server. Use just for fun. I guess something like the MCP server approach could go into that agent kind of category as well, because it kind of enhances and gives agents tools, right? So, yeah, I guess it probably could. Right, we'll add that get ignore. We'll choose that license. It's going under the Chris Reddington profile. Cool. Okay, there we go. So I'm just going to go and clone that locally. Bring that off screen because you don't want to see me just navigate around VS Code and terminals and things. Let me go into that one moment. Go into the right directory. Clone. Oop. Okay. Cool. Right. Let me bring that back up. We got that all there. Good to go. So before I write any code, what I always like doing is kind of setting up my repository in a good state for future success. So what I might do first off is, what should I do? Yeah, let's go and do this. First off, let's go and just set up the actual repository itself. So I'm going to ask Copilot to help me with that. So I'd like to scaffold out an app using TypeScript to create an MCP server. can you help me with this? Right. We'll just kind of scaffold out the code first. But what I also like doing is uh, setting up stuff like code space, GitHub Actions, my dependabot configuration, all that kind of stuff. There we go. We can see it's going ahead and initializing the package for us. It's installing TypeScript. Cool. Already bringing in Zod and the Model Context Protocol SDK as well for us. Like, this is what I like about using Copilot to help with some of these setup pieces. And by the way, I like just putting it in full screen mode like this. And my Copilot chat. Oh, what's it doing? It's updating, creating a new file, and renaming it to the old one. Fine. Now we're bringing in some types. Node, cool. While we're doing that, let's go and take a look. I think it's still doing its thing, maybe. Oh no, I know what I need to do. Hold on. Let me just bring that off screen. And I'm gonna go and do this instead. Give me 1 sec. Oh, look at this. The duck is a little scary though. Like, I think the eyes need to be a little higher. Let me try something like this. So deliberately miss some like rotations or something. Oh, and the background needs to be a little bit different there, but I think it should not hello wrong, but I need to get an error. Errors straight away. Interesting how it's being very kind of methodical. What's yeah, semantically clear. Console log in PHP. Oh yeah, you get the idea anyway. So we very quickly built this kind of page, so we could go and iterate on it. I don't think it's using the AI, is it? Yeah, I don't think it is. How about something like, in fact, let me take a look at the code. And this is the beauty of Spark, is you can go and take a look at the different moods as well. That's really cool. Yeah, so they're just pre. Uh, create a scenario where no. Suggestions or prompts are always hard. Let me think. Questions should either be taken from the base array or AI can be used to pick the context of the conversation and respond with a more targeted question. And not use the code as context. Let's try that. Right, going back to the MCP, let's go and see what's going on. Wow, it's been busy. So I'm just going to mark keep on that for now. I wanted to scaffold it, but it's made us an MCP server already. This is cool. So it's created a TS config. Okay, so we're using ES22. Probably can go more recent. Okay, but anyway, that looks fine. So it builds. They created a VS Code directory and MCP JSON file. Oh, look at that. They've even put it in here already in the MCP file with the correct path. So I can just go and hit start and run my MCP server. But I'm not going to do that just yet because I want to inspect all the code and see what it's doing. But that's very cool. Let's also create a Copilot instructions MD file. Amazing, love that. All the context provides weather information. Sure, why not? Okay. And I think not the reason, but I think one of the things that kind of led it that way was if we go to this page on the model context protocol site, the example it gives is pretty much that. So, making a weather MCP server and then ES22, node 16, I suppose that's where it's got that kind of context from. And then making that NWS request. So going for the National Weather Service. That's kind of cool. So this is the Copilot instructions file. It's got two tools, get alerts and get forecast. Okay, nice. Creates a Cloud desktop one as well. Sure. Got a get ignore file. Wait, I thought there would have been one. Did I not already ask for there to be one? Weird. I thought that would have been included already. Ignore. Oh, it exists. Let's move on. Great. Right, starting that. Cool. Okay, fine. So that looks good. Let's go and inspect the code, see what it's actually doing. Because we'll build something different. I just want to go and see. Never actually used the National Weather Service API. So let's go. Yeah, this is kind of how MCPs effectively work. If I find the right lines here, is you've got this MCP SDK. Let me go to the top and find that. Here we go, MCP server. So we're going to create that server instance here, and we're just calling it weather for now, version 1. Interestingly, we're not defining any of the tools there. We're just initializing that empty object, I guess. But then further down, is where we are registering the tools. So we're registering a tool called get alerts, and that just gets weather alerts for a state. And then we're specifying in a state code. So this is kind of letting the LLM know what input is needed to be consistent. So yeah, state code there. And that's the code that actually works on that. So you could go and use separate methods then there too, I guess. Got it. That's what it's doing. It's making the request, checking if there's any alerts. If there's not, just respond with an error. There's no alerts, just state there's no active alerts, and otherwise list them out. Then we've got another tool to get a forecast, getting a weather forecast for a location, getting the latitude and the longitude of the location, and then similar kind of thing there. Okay, let's try it. Let's see what happens. But first, we need to start the server, because right now, there we go. So right now, if we try to do it, we haven't got the tools. Oh no, we do have the tools. Didn't start it. No. So I turned it back off. Maybe not. Maybe it's running in the command line. It's running in the command line. There we go. That's how. Right, we'll go and stop that one. So if I stop this one, we should see. Let's refresh the list. Oh no, it's because it's actually in the list. Sorry, isn't it? So if I go and do that, there we go. Now it doesn't appear. Whereas if I then go and add it, not activated yet. We hit start, and now it's activated. I was having a moment there. Good. So let's just go and recap that again. In our list of tools, we can see the built-in tools. We can see some tools that I've installed, like globally on my machine, so Context 7 to pull in documentation. We've got the MCP server listed in our MCP config here in this project. And then the GitHub pull requests extension also has some tools that can be used then as well. But we're going to be really focusing on this MCP server that we're building. So how is the weather in San Francisco? And look at that. Just made the call. The input was this latitude, this longitude. And if anyone wants to go and check that, please do. But obviously I didn't enter the latitude or longitude. This kind of came from the knowledge that the large language model has. I passed that in. Forecast for that location, or that long. Overnight, that's temperature, wind, Thursday night, Friday night. And the beauty then is you can always just change your prompts how you would like things to go and look. So these tools are there to, effectively, as they kind of imply by the name, tools to go and extend the capabilities of these AI tools, these agents. What I found fascinating, I didn't realize this, by the way. So again, on this Model Context Protocol site, looking through the feature support matrix for all of the different clients, because the way that the way that Model Context Protocol works is you have a client and you have a server, and you need both. And the client in our instance is Visual Studio Code with Copilot Agent Mode. And The server is that code that we just wrote for that kind of weather API. It is that's the server. Then the two kind of speak with each other. That server will probably go and make an API call somewhere, etc. You've got local servers, you've got remote servers as well. But that's not the point here. The point here, as I was just scrolling through and looking through these docs this morning, I never realized how VS Code is one of the few that kind of supports all of the capabilities compared with all of the tools in the list. I just thought that was really fascinating. And good job that we picked Visual Studio Code with Copilot Agent Mode to go and try those things out. So anyway, yeah, take a look at those docs if you're interested, because they will help. Right, so let's jump back to GitHub Spark a sec and see what's going on there. Okay, so it's updated that. So we've got the LLM prompt in there. Does look like there might be some linting errors, maybe. Let's go and try that again. New session. Let's try that again. Ooh. Let's debug together. Real quick. I think code is supposed to output hello world. However, it's containing some kind of syntax. Let me think of a good follow-up question. What error message or unexpected behavior are you seeing? It's saying that that is unexpected. We'll write them in PHP. Kind of just going back through the playbook now again. There are no variables, just 3 lines. And going back to the other bit, but it seems like we're further along anyway compared to the last conversation. But you can kind of see how quickly we just got like a prototype together of this, and now we can start finessing this. Duck personalities. Absolutely, yes, please. So we'll jump back anyway to the MCP. Maybe we could build a rubber ducking MCP server instead. Let me see. What do you think, chat? Because there's a couple of things I want to do. I want to build something fun. But we could also build like you know what we could do? A rubber duck MCP server, but as if it was an adventure game. And Duck is the hero. I've got no idea where this is going. Let's try it. I want to try and gamify it a little bit. Okay, thanks for setting up that structure. Oh, sorry, let me bring the screen back on. There we go. Oh, great, thanks for setting up that structure. However, I'm not entirely. We want to build a different MCP server. I'll keep the dependencies in the loose file structure. That's shadcn UI MCP. Interesting, KJ. Keep the dependencies and the loose file structure. Not the weather implementation. Let's create a rubber ducking MCP server that sits in the form of an adventure game. I the user, and the hero of this quest, and you must gamify the solution of solving our villainous bugs along the way. Files. Do not solve the issues we give you. Do help me think through them. To make it. What's the word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? Like fancy. And 5. I want it to feel like I'm on an adventure as I'm solving my. This will help gamify it, motivates me. Sure, why not? Oh, let's do one thing. Sorry, one more thing. Can you present me with them as a requirements doc spec? Just list like the problem statements, acceptance criteria, files we need to make, and with user stories. We'll then make adjustments and give you the okay to complete the work. Cool. So while Copilot's doing that in the background, I'm going to close that out. Let's go and create the things that we need to create, kind of bootstrap the repository. So first off, let's create our dev container. We're going to create a new dev container configuration file. We're going to add it to the workspace, so where we are, so it's in source control. And there we go. We can see that it has been suggested that we probably want to have the Node and TypeScript dev containers example there. We'll go for version 22. That feels good. And do we need any additional features? Well, if there is any MCP related ones, nope, don't think so. I think that's good enough. Yep, let's create the dependable YAML. Good. Right, so there we go. So we've set up our dev container. And what we can also do is on a post create command. So when the container is built, we'll just go and run npm installs. So by the time that we're in the container itself, everything is ready to go. Everything is set up. But it also created for us the dependable YAML. And that's only doing it on dev containers, so on the features. And we don't have any features configured on this one. We don't really need this, but it's no harm keeping it there because I guess in the future, if we add features, it'll help us keep them up to date. But what I do want to add is my ecosystem for packages. I'm going to say something like, let's check for npm is on a weekly basis. Let's group together all npm updates, all non-major. Something like that, probably. Okay. Directory is the slash because it'll be in the root. It's still got the new there. We'll go and get rid of that. It's put Copilot instructions in the root as well. Very interesting. Move that in there. Right, interval weekly. npm non-major updates. Anything that is a major sender, and then we will And the major updates, and no, we don't want Docker. And then it's just ignoring the minor and the patches. Okay. I guess if it's a dev dependency as well, I might not care as much. Let's just go with that for now. That seems fine. But what you can see, and this is something I love about Dependabot, is you can group those Dependabot version updates that come in as well. So you don't have to kind of review every single one as an independent PI. You can group them together based on what makes sense in terms of your review flow and your review cycle. So actually, I do have an existing config that I just tend to use. So I'm just going to bring that in. And I'll also bring in the one for my GitHub Actions there as well. So let's keep the links at the top. There we go. Good. Okay, so what else? We probably want to create a GitHub Action workflow, but let's go and see what it's suggesting here. Okay. So developers need more engaging workflow ways to work through debugging. Yeah. Yeah. Good. We're just reviewing those requirements and seeing how that's looking. Quest log. Cool. Conversational interface. Yeah. Right. So start debugging quests. Get guides and questions, feel motivated, track progress. Okay, so it's going to rewrite the main server logic. It's going to add some new things like an event-ended quest state management. I have no idea if any of this is going to work, by the way, because I have really not thought this through much at all. We'll get rid of the Claude desktop one, actually, because obviously we're not using it here today. We could in the future. And obviously, if anyone's using that as well. But we want to update the dev container. Instead of Claude desktop config, let's update the let's go from screen. Seek wisdom. Oh, I love that. And you can start, you can continue. Oh, okay. Right. Cool. So we'll leave that go and run into its thing. Meanwhile, look at this already, making our types. Well, I don't like that all of the types are just in the root of the directory. I feel like it could have a bit of a better structure than that, but that's okay. We haven't really given it any requirements yet. We do need to update our Copilot instructions file as well, because we are now definitely not doing a weather MCP server, so that won't be helping it at all. Okay, so let's take a look at workflows. See how it's on YAML. Oops. GitHub action workflow file that triggers on push repeats name. And I'm using the inline chat here, by the way. It's should build and type check the code. We don't have linters, or we should have those later. Oh. There we go. We've got our main kind of work going on there. We've got Copilot inline chat helping us here too. Accept that. What's going on here? I think we just need to. Oh no. Indentation's not quite right. Oop, there we go. We'll just sort that all out there. There we go. Good. Looking better. Great. So we got our CI there. That's all looking good to me. Let's see how it's doing. I want to look at the diff. I want to look at the actual file there. There we go. Right. So we're getting rid of those endpoints. We're making rubber ducking adventure. Creating an instance of an engine. There's a ton of things that needs to go and update there. But obviously it needs to go and change the core implementation first. Oh, as I say that, it goes and does that. I love this, how it's kind of formatting its responses, questions to consider, encouragement, and suggested kind of actions. What's the structure of the code base now? Let's see. I don't think that needs to all be in there. Anyway, dev container, GitHub, our VS Code folder there, got our build. We've got our source folder with the adventure engine. Take a look at that. Quest type, bug severity. Ah, interesting. So it's kind of looking for certain things which trigger a certain type of quest. So if you've got a crash, you've got an outage or down or production low for integration issues, that kind of thing. And it assigns a bug severity based upon that. And then a type, so like a UI quest, a performance quest. Okay, I kind of like this. This is cool. Okay. There we go, and it's even updating those Copilot instructions for us. Love it. Meanwhile, let's jump back to... Sorry, no, wrong window. There we go. Uh-oh. What did we do? we will fix. Okay, well, we will come back to that. Right. Build was successful, good. So started and stopped successfully, good. That is reassuring. Implementation complete. Okay, well, there's only one way to find out, isn't there? This is cool. Code working on when the issue appeared. Let's think. What could we do? Bug. Let's see. Host has started. I provided no information about the quest. I know. That's kind of what it's doing. What could we do, chat? What could we do here? For the one time that we actually want to see a bug. Let me think. Let me think. Let's just play. I see. Well, actually, that's kind of a bug, I suppose. It looks like the response is still quite formal. However, the response I got back from the MCP server is in a venture-like tone. Please, can you make sure the tone is maintained in response? Oh. Hey, this is it. This is cool. Gathering intelligence and then sign the challenge. This is quite cool. So you can see here, gone and look at the mentor responses. And it's discovered something, it's found something. So now we're going down the seek wisdom path. My trusty GitHub Copilot companion. There we go. Ah, so that's the way that it's going to solve it. The order of tone mastery. Cast a spell, exactly. I don't know if I was just randomly given XP as well. Well, I don't think there's anything in there about XP. No, there's not. So, there's some toning down I need to do with those Copilot instructions, I think. But there's actually something there that is a additional bug. When we journey to new kingdoms or countries, they do not have the full of Copilot instructions to guide them. We need to make it part of this page. Be consistent, or we retract. Yeah, we've gone down a very different path today. But you can get the idea of how varied you can be with MCP servers. Of I need to mystical architecture reveals itself. So it's gone ahead and called the context server server that I've got installed universally when I use VS Code. But it's gone ahead and opened up the normal context protocol docs. There we go. So we're adding prompts. Nice. Embeds the consistent instructions directly into the prompt content. Yeah. I'm assuming there's probably a way then that I can ensure the prompt is used when we're calling another tool. I'm going to make that assumption. Again, something we can go on as a quest. There we go. Right, let's jump back to Spark. There we go. So Spark is back up and running. So we've got the curious duck here. There we go. Methodical duck, the encouraging duck, the detective duck, the Zen duck. And how did that actually change code-wise? So we got different objects in the questions. Sorry, no, we got different objects for the different type of duck, and then different questions for that personality. What effects? Neat. Got that. The eyes of the duck are kinda appearing in the wrong place. Let me just do this off screen 1 second. It's the image. It's not on the right one. Yeah. Okay. So, Luke, you ask a wonderful question. What have we created? We're working on kind of two things in parallel. So, number one is GitHub Spark launched in public preview yesterday. And so we are trying to create just like a rubber duck kind of UI and creating different personalities for that duck. And then the other thing that we're making is an MCP server, which lets us go on like adventure quests for rubber duck debugging as well. So yeah, we're doing we're doing things. It's all based on the let me see, this kind of love of code project. There's different categories of things that you can go and enter. Let's see, what have we changed? Interestingly, though, it's actually gone ahead and doing the things rather than just guiding me like I kind of asked it to. But either way, we can see that it's clearly calling the MCP server locally correctly. So, being able to do that, okay. Let's get rid of that. Let's see how we get on. How many quests have we completed so far? Will it know that? I don't think it will. You completed one debugging quest, you earned 15 XP. It does say in there, in 15 XP, time taken 0 minutes. Huh. Okay. There's maybe something in all of that. But I feel I've gone very in a different direction to what I was even thinking. That's okay. That's okay. Anyway, we had getting. I thought it would have already been. Well, I guess actually, if it was Node, not TypeScript, that'd be why. Right, there we go. Cool. Oh, the binaries for release, not for build. But anyway, cool. But yeah, we've scaffolded out an MCP server, and we can see the tools available just here. So completing a quest, continuing a quest, seeking wisdom, getting quest status, and starting the quest. I think in reality, without investing a ton of time into like backends and things, I don't know how far we would kind of take this. And I don't think that's what we. I think we can work on some other things for a low of code. But this does allow me, though, to kind of get ahead on terms of what I wanted to do today. I just wanted to kind of understand how you create an MCP server. This has been helpful. We've got clearly we register these tools, just like this. But we've also got we've got these different tools, but we've also got prompts. How do we invoke the prompt? Do we need to? Because it's obviously lost its tone here, actually. Prompts? No. And we invoke them. We're using the MCP server to our resources. We've got examples could be in place for our content. Yeah, there's three types of things that you'll commonly see come up with MCP servers. Tools, which we've been using throughout. There's kind of start quest, complete quest, and this running resolve library ID with context 7 MCP server. We've got prompts, which we've just got the one here, registering that prompt. And we've also got the resources. Right. Once registered, prompts appear in the client's prompt library. Oh, I know. Is that because I didn't restart the server? Now we got a prompt there. Yeah, that wasn't there a moment ago. So now if I go and run a prompt, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I think it was the hashtag, wasn't it? Adventure? Nope. Hmm. Yeah, there we go. Adventure-tone-guide. While that's spinning, let's go check back in on our MCP server. There we go. The eyes look better. There we go. Good. We need to fix that kind of padding going on there. The next, we need that personality. There we go. Right. I'm just gonna remove that one because we don't need that one. Okay. I think I have different configurations in my browsers, which was causing that. Okay, let's see. Where have we gone here? Oh boy. Right. Let's see. Prompts. Predefined conversation templates that help structure interactions between users and AI assistants. Initiated. Template system. And they can accept arguments. Always available. Once registered, they appear in the client's prompt library. Okay. I want one automatically triggered. I think. Enter tone guide. Start new debugging quest. Oh, so that's like a prompt in terms of how we right, I see. Get strategic guidance. User, not necessarily called desktop, but fine. See, start. Find dynamic content and information. There we go. So that's the kind of thing, the quest log archive. Okay. Have we got these resources now then? Oh yeah, we do. Okay. I'm still not fully, I think, understanding the resources. Ah, I see. Let me restart that. So we got 4 prompts now. What bug are we facing? URL error that text is overflowing in the box. How is involved? So, React. I see. So then it's a way that you can kind of inject a prompt into your chat, then ready to go. Use that tool to start your journey. Makes sense. Okay. That's giving us a bit more. Okay. I mean, it's at least kind of helped understand how you structure these MCP servers. I think I've taken us off course with this whole kind of engine thing. I don't know if it was the best example, but it was fun. Anyway, we like doing fun, random things. But you can see the main thing in here is you've got your file here, which is going and registering the different resources that you've got. So registering a resource, registering. We got some random methods in there as well. We could definitely do a better job of refactoring that. Registering tools then as well, registering prompts. And then it'll go and call the things behind the scenes, like the weather example that we saw earlier. That was calling off to an API. And, there were methods behind the scenes for that, but the main thing that made that work was there was some very specific either state codes or geo kind of coordinates, like a latitude and a longitude, which then the LLM could convert that kind of input that came from the user into those inputs expected by the method calls, and then use that. So this is almost that translation guide between what is it in natural language and what happens in code. So I think I just need to have another think of like what we could do as an MCP server. Would love what all of you think though. Like, is there something that we could do as an MCP, like keeping track of something while you're working? I don't think it's to a to-do list, I suppose, or something like that. Or how many times you encounter something. Yeah, let me know. Let me know your thoughts. Let's jump back to Spark one more time. Still hasn't quite fixed that one. Let me go and give it a screenshot of that as well. Do that off screen, one sec. Right, I'll bring that back. The button layout and the text handling, cool. So it's going to try and truncate it rather than just line wrap it. That works, I suppose. I didn't quite tell it not to truncate. Okay, so you can remove these storage wrap. There we go. Yeah, but you can see how we've got Spark to help us in terms of like prototyping out this thing. Oh, did it update? We're still working. Cool. And then we used the MCP servers and Copilot agent modes to build an MCP server, which was kind of meta. Yeah, so Luke, this is called GitHub Spark. If you go to the GitHub changelog, which is Where's my link? There we go, gh.io/changelog. You'll see a post on it yesterday, which has all the details. It's currently only available to Copilot Pro Plus subscribers, though. So depending on what SKU you have, you might not be able to see this one yet, or you might. Yeah, just wanted to kind of show this off a little bit on the stream here. So anyway, I'm very mindful of our time and that we are a couple of hours in here, so I think it's time for us to wrap up. So what have we done today? We've played a little bit with GitHub Spark, as mentioned, public preview for those using Copilot Pro Plus. And then we've also just been exploring a bit around MCP servers, how we can kind of get that set up. But what we did when we set up that repo was made sure that we had a GitHub code space, like a dev container configured. We made sure that we had the Dependabot configuration as well, so we get those version updates and get to keep the dependencies up to date and patched. We started creating the GitHub Action workflow as well. So we got the build, we got the type check pieces. We didn't do the test on linting yet. But again, you can see how we're just very quickly bringing all those pieces together. I think what I want to do for the MCP side of things and building that MCP server is just rethink the example a bit more of something that we could use, but intended for it to be a bit of fun today and just kind of push at the edges a bit and see where we got to. I think let's think of a different example. So if you've got one, let me know that you want us to kind of see and play with. But otherwise, we will try something out next time, I'm sure. But with that, folks, it is time for us to wrap up. So thank you as always for joining. We will be back. Let's double check. I believe same time, same place next week. We will be. But before then, we have another stream later with Kadesha. And then there's Open Source Fridays tomorrow. So as always, you can go and check on our YouTube channel. I'll go and bring up on screen. You'll also see them scheduled on LinkedIn as well. But we broadcast to YouTube, to LinkedIn, to Twitch as we do these things. But you can see as I go and bring this up on screen. Oh, we have got quite a few different things coming up later. So yeah, go ahead and take a look at the YouTube feed. And otherwise, I will see you all next week, folks. So happy coding. And finally, gh.io/love-of-code. Go and take a look at the different categories. Go and see what you're going to go and build. So until next time, folks, thanks for tuning in today and happy coding. Bye for now.